episode de La Paul. I'm your host, Paul. What the fuck is that? Is that a fucking cat? You see that thing? Fucking thing just creeped up on me. What the fuck was that? Oh my god, I'm scared. I'm scared. What is that? What is that thing? I wasn't even scared, bro. You was the one who was fucking scared, bro. I wasn't even fucking scared. I'm gonna gun it, alright? I'm gonna gun it down this hill. Wow! I gotta be super strategic when shooting these videos because it's like I'm in like a massive business center with like a whole bunch of places with like excellent lighting and like good looking places and everything like that. But a huge issue is that it's dead silent. It's dead silent, and like obviously like I have to talk very, very loud, and it's very, very echoey. So basically what I have to do is like I have to like film in one location, like all the way over here, and then all of the security guards run all the way over to this side, and then I go ahead and loop around over to this side over here and then start filming, and then by that time they're all talking to each other so I can go ahead and make my goddamn video. I'm actually filming right behind a gun shop, so let's go ahead and film right in front of the gun shop. It's Cobra Tactical. It's Cobra Tactical. You need a gun, they'll go ahead and put it in your holster. Well, the thing keeps making noises and it's freaking me out. I remember my first encounter with a person. See, that thing is freaking me out, man. I swear that thing is haunted. But my first encounter with a private citizen who owned a gun, and this was when I was living in Arizona, and it was another security guard because I was out there and I was doing security, and it was like in an outlet mall, and she would bring her gun to work. I am and probably always will be an unarmed security guard. One of the reasons being that like if you're an armed guard, typically they're going to put you places where they need an armed guard. One day her gun got stolen. She told me that it got stolen out of her truck, and also I don't know what dumbass decided to approve her getting a gun, because I mean she was a cuckoo's nest. And also she was like RoboCop. Like when you first become like a security guard, you go through your phase of like being RoboCop, and by being RoboCop I mean that you try to control everything. Like if you see like one skateboarder skateboarding through the parking lot, you start screaming and you start flipping out. And like I went through that phase for a little bit, you know, like I was like trying to hold everything down, just stress, and it took me maybe like a year or something to like realize that the only jobs for a security guard in a court of law is to observe and report. You don't have to do anything else but observe and report. But she told me that she's been in this job for 8 years. So she's like a permanent RoboCop. You have anything else to say before I move to a different location? No? Okay. You know what I feel like doing right now? I feel like doing like this. Can you do that? Can you do it? Can you fucking move like a jellyfish? It's a genie. It's a Gino. You gotta go ahead and rub on it. Gotta go ahead and rub on it. It's gonna go ahead and give you a big old surprise. You know, I used to have some very strong opinions about those robotic car washes, because I always do it by hand. I go to a self-serve car wash and I go ahead and I spray it down and I cover it in foam, and then I leave the foam on it for a good 20 minutes, and then I take microfiber towels and then I wipe the whole thing down to make it look really, really pretty. And that takes me on average maybe like an hour per week, because like I would try to wash it like weekly. I went to my spot, right? I went to my spot, the self-serve car wash, which is 24 hours, it's open all the time, and all the lights were cut off. And there were some people still trying to wash their cars. I'm like, how are you gonna know if it's like clean or not? But that's none of my issues. So I decided to go to a robotic one, and it wasn't bad. I like how you can tell that there's like a whole bunch of different contractors at this job site, because none of the freaking cherry pickers parked together are not contractors, but different businesses. Also, an update on my big old thingamahoozer. On my big old thingamahoozer, on to that way, the camper, the topper, the shell, whatever you want to call it. My thing that's on the back of my truck is going pretty well. I'm actually really surprised. A lot of the people who I do work with at my job hasn't been inquiring about it too much, which is amazing, because like I don't want to answer too many questions, but I already have like a story. I already have like a story that I'm going to like tell if like a person, oh yeah, why? Oh, I know that those things are so expensive. Why'd you go ahead and buy that topper? And my excuse for why I have a topper to a person who I work with, because I wouldn't want to tell them that I'm living in it, is simply because I'm lazy as hell. I'm lazy as hell, and every single week, this is actually the truth in real life, every single week when I would go and wash my car by hand, I would have to get down on my hands and knees and clean the inside of the trunk every single week. And every single week it was like cold as hell, and I have to get like all wet and everything like that. So I decided to buy a topper because I'm lazy, and I will never have to clean the inside of my trunk ever again. Go ahead and give you some film knowledge. This huge big orange thing right here is called a cherry picker. Except in the film industry, we call these a condor. It's called a condor, and in film industries, if you've ever seen one of these on the back of a semi-truck and it's all painted completely black, that means that it's used in the filming industry. And what they use these in the filming industry is that they take these huge lights, and then they can go ahead and they can bring it way up into the air, and then they can like light an entire area. Say like a neighborhood. In neighborhoods, the lighting is not optimal, so if they need to get a front shot of the house, they can take a few of these, put some lights on them, and then light the entire front of the house. That's a big part of my job, because I'm a security for the filming industry. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you don't want to have like a whole bunch of like equipment and things like a condor laying out there at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. If you don't want people to like go out there and mess with them, you hire yourself a security guard to go ahead and watch everything, so they don't have to, you know, pack up and then set up every single flipping day. I find it absolutely amazing how I kind of fell into the job that I'm in. Obviously, like, I'm into filming, and literally like being like what I consider like being like so young, and like having to like learn a certain craft. It's like crazy that it's like my job is essentially just to like watch everything. And like it's crazy to think like every single like, say like a TV show that you watch, something that you might not know is literally every single shot that they take is that there's legitimately like between like 40 and 60 people all around that's not in the shot. I personally get paid to see and protect, but it also shows me that I have like a lot to learn, and currently I'm like starting at like at the beginning of any single movie or TV show or commercial that you've ever seen starts with like a script, and like now I'm like educating myself on like how to write one correctly, and my God, there is so much to this. My career and every single YouTuber's career is to find out the brand new filming way. It might be a little bit ridiculous of like how I'm educating myself so deeply for something that's kind of like a hobby, but say in my future, say if like a person like David Dobrik or Jake Paul or Logan Paul or like a huge YouTuber comes to me, wants to collaborate with me, and I like right now, and I literally know nothing about like how to use cameras, how to use like lighting, how to write a script, how to like tell a story. It's just gonna be like, dude, it's like, what the hell? It's just like we wasted all this money for nothing. El Cheapo, he's like El Chapo but cheap. So I have great news about next week's video. Next week's video is going to be shot during the daytime, and the reason why I'm going to shoot it during the daytime is because I'm going to shoot it the day before, because typically I get Thursday and Fridays off, but my job asked me if I wanted to work Friday, and I was like, yeah. I'm gonna record Thursday morning, edit the video that afternoon, and then once I'm sitting at work, there'll be Wi-Fi, so then I'll upload the video. On the call it what you want, but you can't call it broke. You can test me by money.